Now by the Honorable Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mataole, here on Sunrise Daily. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Chamberlain.
Let me start with DICON, Defense Industries. I mean, we've heard the military say time and again they need weapons. And we know the MRAPs, very expensive. If one blows up, has a lot of money, in hard currency, as a matter of fact. You were recently commemorating with DICON at 60. What do we expect from DICON and from your ministry?
Okay, thank you for asking me the questions about DICON. We see for long, Nigeria need to advance, not just for anything, but for our own local productivity. For example, we have been traveling all over the world to see the exhibitions for ammunitions, but unfortunately Nigerians or Nigeria are not producing much to cater for the need of our armed forces and other security agencies. But today, under my watch as a minister, as supervising minister on DICON, we have a lot of programs which within limited time, Nigeria will now realize, yes, we have the capacity. For example now, if you go to DICON, that you know for the first 4 years, if you go to DICON, you see a tremendous change because many investors are there investing and trying to do our own local productions. So as not just for Nigeria, but to give to other nationals like other African countries. Before we are buying these ammunitions with foreign currency, but all what we are going to produce now will be bought by Naira. It's as good as what NNPC is doing with Dangote refinery. Therefore, all our ammunitions will be gotten by Naira, and we ease the issue of forex within the country.
So no more pressure
on dollar for the ammunition. Because before, we have to pay in dollars. And even if we pay, we have to be in line for maybe 2 years, 3 years, or lowest is 6 months before you get your productions. Therefore now, it is not like that. We have a lot of investors who invest in DICON, and they are advancing every day. They are advancing all the MRAF, most of the arms, most of the ammunitions are being produced now in DICON. I wish one day you should have a visit to see how we remodeled DICON and to see the activities of those investors who are doing there. That is the reason now when Mr. President has signed the bill into law, the establishment of DICON and the act, it is there. And we thank Mr. President because now any memo goes to the Federal Executive Council, particularly for the procurement of arms or ammunition, it is referring to the ministry for the purchase. Therefore, DICON is working now, and we hope with a limited time we can be able to meet our demand and all the productivities and productions.
So, what is, does the ministry have a target in terms of how many years before we have a complete, or should we expect a complete non-reliance?
Yeah, of course.
Forex?
What we are talking about now, some have already bring their line of productions. They are already there. Some are bringing their own. Therefore, it's not just one person. We give a lot of people who we know that they have the capacity. We can't just give people who cannot be able to come and do the production here. So because we need someone who can come and do the local production here. So we create job opportunity and we reduce the pressure on the forex. Therefore, most of them are having their productions line now in DICON. Therefore, we are going to produce our own. For example, I have said it before. The armed forces need a lot of arms yearly. Combined with the armed forces and other security agencies, we are looking about like 300 and something million, round of ammunitions per annum. And we have some pressures from other African countries who want to purchase from us here as DICON is here in Nigeria. Therefore, we are trying to see how we can be producing much so that it will be enough for us and to sell to our sisters countries.
So are we going to immediately start supplying them, or we tell them hold on a bit, we can sign the contract, but let's ramp up our local supplies to a certain extent before we start giving.
Yeah, as I'm talking to you now, we have a lot of production going on there. And I believe within 4 to 5 months, we can be able to meet our demand. As I said, it is not just one person. It is a lot of investors who are already there, putting their investment and putting their production line. Therefore, we want a situation whereby we can be able to feed ourselves before feeding others. So even now, most of the purchases that we have outside the country, we have to follow due process, and we have to follow line. Some giving us 2 years, as I said, and some 3 years. But now with this advancement that we have here in Nigeria, we don't need that. So we are trying now to have our own ammunition here in-house. Therefore, from there, we can be able to give other nations. But we need to have our own first.
So if anyone watching wants to maybe join or come to Daikon as probably a designer, someone who can come up with a proper concept for ammunition, is there any chance for such people?
Yeah, of course. We have a lot of talent individuals. We have some of them who are there.
They don't have to be in the army?
Yeah, they don't have to be in the army.
Oh, okay.
If they are talent, we can work with them. All we need is how they can be able to put value to Daikon. We have a lot of intellectual people who can be able to do the designs, manufacture, and so on and so forth. So most of those guys, if they are interested, yes, they can approach us. We can be able to blend them within our own system so that they can be able to put more value to the industry.
Also, let's talk about Sokoto. And I was reading some of your pieces that you spoke about how the president called and said, leave whatever you're doing and get down to Sokoto. So service chiefs also swung into action after the military spoke to them. So tell us, many wondered, did he have to take the president for everybody to realize Northwest security there needs to be addressed? And what is the significance of going to Sokoto in that manner?
Yeah, you see, it is Mr. President who called. It was when the emir of Gobir was killed. You remember, President was not in the country, so he was shocked by the killing of the emir. And after he condoled the families and the good people of Sokoto State and the government of Sokoto State, he then called and said, whatever we are doing, we shall mobilize to Sokoto to ensure the safety of the region. Because, you know, Sokoto is the center of the brigade, is a brigade which comprise Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, Katsina. So therefore, we all march to Sokoto to strategize on how to go after these bandits. Myself and the CDS and other services were in Sokoto. And we thank the governor of Sokoto. He's a wonderful man. He have done everything for us. When we were in Sokoto, we met about 12 of his commissioners waiting for us in the airport to receive us, including his secretary to the government, including the head of service. Most of this cabinet are in Sokoto airport waiting for us to arrive. After we arrive, we go direct to the brigade, where we have been briefed by the securities. After we take our brief, we then go direct to government house for the courtesy call, and immediately the governor gave all the support that needed, particularly by the Air Force. And he's supposed to travel, but he cancelled his trip just for him to receive us in Sokoto. And he provided all the necessary things that we needed, particularly for our troops and for our equipment. So he provided everything for us. So we thank the governor of Sokoto for this tremendous support to the armed forces of Nigeria and the other security agencies. In fact, if most of the governors are doing the same, Nigeria will be free from all sort of criminalities. The same thing with the governor of Katsina State. From Sokoto, I stationed in Sokoto. I stayed in Sokoto for 5 days, but the CDS and other services went to Katsina State to meet with the governor. The same thing, the governor did all he can to ensure that he provide all the support to the Nigerian Armed Forces so that they can be able to operate in the zone. Therefore, we record a lot of successes by going to Sokoto.
I know that they've been speaking about the success and the feedback they have. So if you can tell us, what is the latest information you have? And also talk to us about what targets do you have? Is it that when this operation is over, there should be no such thing as bandits wielding any influence whatsoever?
That is what we are working for. And by God's grace, we'll achieve it. Because these people have been operating for decades, we need to flush them out. And the military are doing their best to ensure security and safety of all citizens. The president is worried about the insecurity in the north. Many people are saying that there is no security. Many people are insulting both the president and the ministers and all this and that. But what I'm saying to people, let them pray for us. It's better for them to be castigating us, insulting us, because this war is a collective responsibility for each and every Nigerian. I was a governor before in Zamfara State, and I know how I fought this insecurity. I'm the first governor shut down network for 3 months in Zamfara State. I follow all options in order to get Zamfara out of this menace. But as God have it, we still have those criminals operating all over. When I left the state as a governor, all the 14 local governments are secured. None of the 14 local governments...
All 14?
Yeah. None of the 14 local government headquarters can witness any strike or any abductions or killings. I mean, the local government headquarters. 14 local government, you should go and ask.
So why are some people saying that? No, that is not true. Because
no, I'm talking about the 14 local government headquarters.
Okay.
Yes, some of the local government, you know, each local government have a lot of villages and communities. Like my own local government, Marad local government, we have 10 wards. 10 wards. But in Marad local government, I mean, all the 14 local government headquarters, none, you can go and ask by yourself, none of the 14 local government been experience any attack or bandit, kidnap or killing of anyone. Therefore, today, if you go, the situation has changed. So it is the reason why now we need to stand off and fight these people, because they don't care whether you are APC, PDP, or you are a journalist, or you are a comedian. They don't care. All they need is if they see you, they will kill you, or they will kidnap you. Therefore, all I want is for Nigerians to pray for the armed forces and the Ministry of Defense so that we can win this war. Speaking about your time as governor,
about 2 months ago, a certain bandit was circulating all over the place saying that you, while you were governor, encouraged bandits. He went on to say that the amnesty deal failed and that he ended up giving money or putting money in the hands of bandits who began to wield a lot of influence and were recruiting people. So by exception, they say you were supporting aiding bandits.
So let me tell you, yes, I initiated the reconciliation dialogue, because when I became a governor, I look at the scenario, what is happening. Why bandits are killing people in Zamfara State? So I was thinking the best way to tackle the situation. So I've been getting a lot of advice from different sectors, which I ended up to call a stakeholders meeting at that time. I called the traditional rulers, I called the religious leaders, the security agencies, the leaders of the Fulani, the leaders of the Ansaki. That is the vigilante group. I will hear from each group differently. I did not combine them together. So after we now finish discussions, I now sat down with the security agencies of the state then. And remember, security agencies comprise police, army, DSS, immigration, all of them, civil defense. So we sat down together based on the recommendations that we have from the people of the state, from the traditional rulers. So we have a recommendation that the only option that time is for us to dialogue with the bandit.
Was it a success? Did it work?
Let me tell you, that is the recommendations we have. After I sat down with all the security agencies, they are alive. We have some of the CPs, they rose to the rank of DIGs and some AIGs. They are all alive. We have some of them who are now retired generals. They are there. So after we get this recommendation, we say, okay, now, the best way, let's go for the dialogue as recommended by the traditional institutions, by the religious leaders of the state, by the stakeholders of the state, by all the leaders of the state. I have no option rather to do that, because it's better for me than to see bandits killing my subjects, killing individuals in the state. So when we enter into this dialogue, that was where we recorded a lot of successes. We recovered a lot of ammunitions, and we secured the release of abducted persons in thousands. The record is there. And let me tell you, what they are saying, most of them, they forgot. Even President Buhari, when he went to get the Chibok girls, you should remember, what did he do? What did he do with the Boko Haram during his tenure? He now, reconciles with the BH and release some of their victims, while the Chibok girls were released. And it's a global practice everywhere in the world. That is permissible. If I want my people not to be killed, you can enter agreement with those people so that you can secure the release of those innocent people. What is happening now between Israel and Palestine? It's the same thing. They are now begging the Palestine to release their. That is.
But considering.
Do you understand? So now, if people are saying that because of that, everybody in Nigeria knows that there was a time that I initiated the dialogue. Yeah. That's the time that I did that. And I have no regret for that, because I recorded a lot of success then. How many people, including some foreign nationals, I secured the release of them without paying ransom, without paying single kobo. Let me give you an episode. A junior brother to Dawda Lawan was kidnapped 7 months before I took over. He was kidnapped. His name is Yusuf. After we initiated this dialogue, they requested about 500 million ransom, which Dawda refused to pay. But it was based on this dialogue, this person was released unconditionally without paying a ransom. Go and ask. The record is there.
Did they know this? Because some of them seem to say no, that
he's aware. Everybody, no, this is in a public domain. It is not meant for him to accept, but the record is there. The people of Zamfara can testify to that. They can testify to that. Not me. I cannot be judge of myself. But you should go and ask the people of Zamfara. The record is there. The record will not lie. Therefore, many people will say different things. All I want, people misconceptions. See, people trying to just blackmail someone just because of hatred. That's all.
But why would they keep saying that you were aiding and abetting?
Okay, they should bring any proof for that. They should bring any proof for that. Because I dialogue, and it was not only me, remember. All the governors dialogue. The governor of Niger State, then he dialogued with Bandit, Abu Sani Bello. The governor of Sokoto, Aminu Waziri Tambol, do the same. The governor of Katsina do the same. Most of the governors do dialogue. Why only me? But because in Zamfara, you don't know Zamfara. Zamfara is a very complex state, very small state, but with terrible human beings, with devilish, ideas.
Why is that the case?
Because the people are just different. Because everything Zamfara. Let me tell you an episode. I was a governor when someone was arrested, cutting throat, and removing eyes of human being. I arrested the man by myself. I went to the police station and sat down, and I directed the commissioner of police then to make sure that he should go and arrest the guy. They brought the man. When we asked him, my brother, it is terrible. So many things happen. Yes, the people of Zamfara will not like me. You know why? Because I am fearless and I can deal with anyone. Most of those that are doing such kind of heinous acts, they doesn't like me because I go after them. All of them.
Are they politicians?
Yes, I go after them. And let me remember you, when I was a governor, I'm the only governor that swear to Holy Quran that I have no hand or connections with banditry, or I am not happy with what is happening. Do you understand? I swear with a Holy Quran that if I am happy with what is happening, or if I am part of it, or if I know those that are doing it, or if I'm collaborating with them, I say God should not give me a 1 second grace. I'm the only one. And I challenge all the politicians that time, including General Alubuso, that they should swear to Holy Quran. None of them, including Dauda, none of them can do this oath, can take this oath. None of them can take the oath. But I take it. Why? Because I know my mind. I know I have a clean heart. And not even that, including all my councillors, commissioners, chairmen, I will not give you appointment. You have to take that oath. Go and check. The record is there. And up till tomorrow, I am challenging those people that they should do that oath. They should take the oath up till tomorrow. I am challenging them. They should take the oath that I have taken.
So does it mean if they have not taken that oath,
yes,
for instance, the current government and the commissioners,
they are part of it?
Are you suggesting they have? Oh, they are part of the terrorism?
Let them take the oath with the Holy Quran, as I have done that openly with all the imams in Zamfara State. They are there. I've taken this oath, and I challenged them since that time. None of them, up till tomorrow, are taking this oath. But I cannot give you a commissionership or advisor or any appointment. You have to take that oath. Go and ask. The record is there. That's what people are talking about. Is it because I'm, sometimes some things, it is not even good for someone to respond, because to me it's nothing. It is inappropriate for me as a minister to respond to such kind of issues. But because people with their devilish ideas, they are talking anyhow, people doesn't fear God, they think that this is the end of it. I was a governor before. Today, am I a governor? I'm not a governor now. So tomorrow, those that on that seat, they will not be there.
Part of the allegation, what they're circulating is that while you were a governor, that you embezzled 250 billion naira. Is that true?
So now, if the person who say it is crazy, I know you are not a crazy. For my 4 years, I did not even receive that money.
How much did you receive?
Go ask, the record is there, and the indices are in the Ministry of Finance, Federal Ministry of Finance, or Accountant General of the Federation. It is on record. And let me tell you, I don't understand why I pity Dauda. I pity him. Because it's like you don't even know where to start. I thought for now he should concentrate on giving good governance to the people of Zamfara State. I thought for now he should concentrate on the issue of insecurity. I thought for now he should realize that governance is a continuous process. Because if he is in that seat today, tomorrow he will be not. I thought he would realize that. But how can someone come and be telling lies? A whole governor to come and deceive the public.
What lie has he told?
Yeah, how can he say unaccounted 240 billion? Before, he said 70 billion. Now he said 240 billion. But it is not a surprise to me. If you know who is Dauda, it's not a surprise. Because this is someone that he cannot even know what he's talking about. For example now, the whole state, there was a time that the allocation from federal government to the state government, I got just 1.9 billion, while my salary is about 2.3 billion. The only 2 times that I got about 6.4 billion for both state and local government, I think it's just 2 times for the period of my 4 years.
You didn't get up to 150 or 240 billion.
That's what I was telling you. For a month, it was only 2 times I got about 6.something billion for both state and local government. Now go and ask today. There's a time the state government alone got 28 billion per month. And go and ask. Now, the state government is not getting less than 18 billion per month. While during my time, I just got 1.9 billion. Highest 3 billion. In my time. I have a record here with me. And let me tell you, when I saw what he was talking about, I just pity him. Because it shows that he is not a leader. Is it only Zamfara? The Sokoto governor defeated a PDP governor. Have you ever heard him talking anything about that governor? Dauda spent 2 years complaining. Every day you saw him in television, he's complaining about Bello Matole. I think even if he sleeps, he is dreaming of me. I think. Did
you do anything to him while you were a governor to frustrate whatever he was doing?
Yeah, the only thing I know, he deviously bring some things for me, which I rejected that. I've said it before.
Did you say dubious?
Yeah, he dubiously brought something to me, which I rejected it when I was a governor. Let me tell you the history. When I was a governor, Dauda brought a proposal for fertilizer because he have a fertilizer blending plant in Zamfara State. So being an indigen, in good faith, I accepted his proposal that he's going to supply us fertilizer of that season. I gave him an intent letter, thinking that he is going to supply the fertilizer because he come as like he have the fertilizer on the ground. He begged me. I then decided that so many people introduced some contractors to me, but because I thought he is from the state, and I thought he have the capacity to supply this fertilizer. So I gave him the intent letter. If you go and ask the Commissioner of Finance, at that time, my Commissioner of Finance, Dauda will call that person more than 200 times per day. More than 200 times, asking him payment. And before, he come as like a big boy that he have this fertilizer and he want to supply to the government. So because what I know him very well, so I said, okay, let him go and bring just 10 trucks of the fertilizer. These 10 trucks take us 7 months. He cannot bring it. At the end, he come with the papers of a bank. I have them here. That I should sign for him his certificate of his company. He want to go and take facility for a bank. I said, which facility again? He said, he want to take the facility so that he can be able to supply us the fertilizer. From there, I said, okay. So what he is doing to design, he want to do it to me. Former head of state, I reached out to the former head of state, which Dauda said he talked to. The former head of state, what he talked to me, I said, I have no problem with that. Anytime. But up till today, Dauda never reached out to me. And let me tell you, when the student of University of Gusau, University, was kidnapped, the president directed all of us to go to Zamfara to come and thread with the people of the state. Myself and my colleague Badaru, been calling Dauda, he did not respond to our calls. Let he respond to Badaru's call. We are around. So Badaru tell him that the president directed us to go to Zamfara. This guy was in US, despite the fact that the student was kidnapped in his own state. He was in US. So he begged Badaru that please, we should allow him to come back before we come, because if we go to Zamfara, we will disgrace him. So Badaru talked to him. Badaru is alive. He talked to me. I said, no problem, Badaru, let us wait for him. If it was Dauda, he foresees tell the whole world that Matawale run away after kidnapped from his state and the president sent us. But have you ever heard me telling anything about that? I did not.
So there has been no meeting between both of you ever since?
No meeting. And this is how we cover Dauda for his inability. Because if it was someone, I could have blown it off since. If it is Dauda, he could have blown it off. But Dauda refused to see us, and when he come back to the country up till today, Dauda did not call either Badaru or myself about the trip to Zamfara. He never. Badaru is around, he should go and ask him. So I don't need to be joining issue with him, because everybody knows Dauda is a serial liar. He's an unserious person, and he is just banking on his failure. Let him accept his failure first.
So let's wind down now. So in terms of still a little bit about security, there are several allegations, things circulating that mineral resources, gold, is part of this problem. They say politicians, including yourself, they accuse you too of benefiting from the mineral resources, and that's why people there don't want it to end, those who are benefiting from the mineral resources. So let me ask you categorically, are you part of those benefiting?
So let me tell you, I will give you a letter that I wrote to Mr. President when I was a governor. I wrote to Buhari when he was a president, for him to declare no-fly zone in Zamfara State, for him to put a ban on mining completely, to ban mining in Zamfara State. I personally wrote the letter to Mr. President then. I will forward the letter to you, and he approved all my recommendations. And you bear me witness that Zamfara were declared no-fly zone and banned the mining up till today. But guess what? Dauda now wrote to the Minister of Aviation for the lifting of no-fly zone. Now, we don't have airport in Zamfara State. If me as a governor then write to President, despite the fact that we don't have much challenges as it is today in Zamfara State, that time, Zamfara people are most cured during my time. But I wrote to Mr. President because there is an episode that happens that some people are going around with a helicopter that is for Zamfara State. Based on that, I now decided to write that letter to Mr. President to place Zamfara on no-fly zone, which Mr. President approved for me. It was there. So, but today, Dauda is writing to the government, federal government, that he wants that no-fly zone to be lifted. For what reason? Why does he want the no-fly zone to be lifted in Zamfara State? Do we have an airport in Zamfara? We don't have airport. Why does he want the ban on mining to be lifted, which his predecessor wrote to the president and put that ban? So if I'm benefiting from it, why can I go and write to Mr. President?
Well, you're Minister of State for Defense now. What would you recommend as the solution to make sure banditry ends and there's peace?
Let me tell you what they're supposed to do now. Particularly, the governors has a vital role to play. But as I said, we thank these governors, particularly the governor of Sokoto, Katsina, Niger, Kaduna. They are doing wonderfully well on issue of security. They are supporting our troops, our armed forces. and they are always on alert. Always on alert every day. Like Governor of Niger, always texting me if there is anything. The same thing Governor of Kaduna, the same thing Governor of... We have been talking to them. And look at how they are trying to, maintain their state. Try to bring out a lot of initiative for the people to benefit. So, but if all of them can come up together, put head together and take a decision, a unanimous decision with the federal government, we can be able to have more successes on fighting these criminals. Because during our time, all of us, the governors, all of our commissioners of securities are meeting every week. All the commissioners in our zones, including Niger, is part of our meetings to strategize, and they are sharing intelligence within themselves. All the commissioners, they are sharing. And the commissioners of police of all the state, commissioner of security, the DSS of all the state are connecting to each and every one of them. So they have a platform that time that they are working together, which we as a governors, we saw on the platform what they are doing every minute, every hour. So the governors need to come together so that they can support the federal government. As I said, those governors, Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi, Kaduna, and yes, Niger, they are working. We are working with them without any problem, no problem. They do not take the issue of, it's personal. He take it personal, very personal. Now look at what he was saying on your screen. He want to take all the credit, no problem. Let him take the credit, we give him the credit. All we need is our people to be secured. All we need is for people to move freely. All we need is to get the successes that we have gotten. So anybody who can take the credit, let him take the credit. We don't care about that. But we know our troops are working, and we are going to continue to support our troops. We don't mind anyone who will take the credit. All we want is for the peace to reign in the Northwest and in Nigeria in general.
All right, well, we'll anchor at that point. Mr. Bello Matawale, Honorable Minister of State for Defense, thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you very much.